You don't become visible by demanding recognition, because visibility is earned through consistent action, not through loud words or desperate attempts to be noticed. When you constantly seek acknowledgement, you signal dependency on others' opinions rather than demonstrating your own worth. True visibility comes from producing results, delivering value, and showing excellence in ways that naturally draw attention. It is not about announcing yourself at every opportunity. It is about becoming so effective, skilled, and impactful that people cannot help but notice. Recognition is a byproduct of influence, performance, and the unique contribution you make. The problem with demanding recognition is that it often masks insecurity and impatience. People who shout for attention may momentarily get it, but it is rarely the kind of respect or lasting acknowledgement that leads to real influence. Recognition that is begged for is shallow, temporary, and dependent on someone else's judgment. In contrast, when you focus on developing your skills, mastering your craft, and creating measurable impact, recognition comes naturally and carries weight. It becomes authentic because it is earned, not requested. Visibility grows from the results you produce, not the stories you tell. Actions speak louder than words, and the world rewards those who deliver consistently over those who simply claim to have potential. If you spend your time performing, learning, creating, and improving, you set yourself apart from those who rely on attention-seeking behaviors. Your work becomes a reflection of your value, and that reflection cannot be ignored. Recognition follows those who make a tangible difference, not those who try to force a spotlight. Consistency is another critical factor in becoming truly visible. A single success or a one-time effort may catch eyes temporarily, but lasting visibility is the outcome of repeated excellence. When you consistently show up, over-deliver, and maintain high standards, you build a reputation that precedes you. People begin to take note because they trust that your presence equals quality and reliability. This is far more powerful than any demand for recognition because it is built on credibility rather than entitlement. Visibility also comes from solving problems others cannot. When you address challenges, offer solutions, or innovate in ways that make a difference, you become naturally indispensable. People notice those who create outcomes that change situations for the better. Recognition does not need to be asked for when your contribution is so meaningful that it impacts people's lives, organizations, or communities. Solving problems at a high level positions you in a space where your presence is respected and valued automatically. Another reason visibility cannot be demanded is that attention without value is fleeting. People can be attracted to loud voices, bold claims, or flashy behavior, but they rarely stick around unless there is substance behind it. Visibility that lasts is rooted in credibility, skill, and impact. When your work speaks for itself, people begin to follow, respect, and elevate you without any prompting. Recognition that is earned through contribution is lasting. Recognition that is demanded is superficial and often forgotten. Patience is essential in developing authentic visibility. Many people want to be recognized before they have done the work required to earn it. This impatience leads to frustration, anxiety, and sometimes failure. True visibility is built over time through strategic effort, learning, and development. Each step you take in improving yourself, delivering value, and demonstrating competence compounds over time, gradually creating a presence that is impossible to ignore. Visibility also requires humility and focus. Those who demand recognition often focus on themselves, how they are seen, how they are perceived, or how quickly they can achieve acknowledgement. In contrast, those who earn visibility focus on the work, the contribution, and the value they bring to others. When your energy is directed toward building excellence rather than seeking applause, you cultivate an authentic presence that draws attention naturally. Networking and relationships play a role, but they are effective only when combined with substance. You cannot become truly visible by merely promoting yourself. You must also be someone who delivers, someone who adds value, someone whose presence strengthens those around them. Recognition follows naturally when people experience the impact of your work firsthand. Your reputation grows through meaningful interactions, consistent delivery, and the tangible results you create in every area of your life. Finally, visibility is about becoming indispensable rather than noticeable. When you focus on solving problems, delivering excellence, and continuously improving, you transcend the need for external validation. Recognition finds you because your contribution matters, your presence changes outcomes, and your work cannot be overlooked. It is the undeniable evidence of your value and impact, and it establishes a level of influence and respect that no demand could ever create. Excellence separates the ordinary from the extraordinary because it is the defining factor that distinguishes those who simply exist from those who leave a lasting impact. Ordinary people often settle for mediocrity, doing just enough to get by, blending in and hoping life will reward them. Extraordinary individuals, on the other hand, commit to a higher standard, pushing beyond the minimum and striving to perfect their craft. Excellence is not an accident, it is a deliberate choice, a consistent habit, and a mindset that demands more from yourself than anyone else expects. Excellence requires a relentless pursuit of improvement. The ordinary accept average results and are satisfied with incremental progress, while the extraordinary continuously seek growth, learning, and mastery. They understand that every skill, every decision, and every action compounds over time. Small improvements consistently applied create an exponential effect, elevating them above their peers. Excellence is forged in the daily effort that most people overlook. The repeated practice, the attention to detail, and the refusal to settle for good enough. Commitment to excellence also means embracing discipline. Ordinary people often wait for motivation, inspiration, or the right circumstances to act. Extraordinary people act regardless of feelings, obstacles, or external conditions. They understand that excellence is not about comfort. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when it is inconvenient, challenging, or exhausting. Discipline transforms potential into results, turning natural talent into undeniable achievement. Attention to detail is another hallmark of excellence. Ordinary individuals focus on the surface, doing just enough to meet expectations. Extraordinary individuals notice the nuances, perfect the small things, and understand that mastery lies in the details. The way they handle small tasks reflects their overall approach to life, and those details build a reputation for precision, reliability, and superiority. Excellence is often invisible at first, but over time it becomes unmistakable. Excellence also requires courage to stand apart. Ordinary people conform to the norms, follow the crowd, and avoid risks that could expose them to failure. Extraordinary individuals are willing to take calculated risks, challenge conventional thinking, and innovate where others remain stagnant. They understand that extraordinary results require extraordinary actions, and that sometimes being exceptional means being misunderstood or unappreciated in the short term. Another aspect of excellence is resilience. Ordinary people give up at the first sign of difficulty. Extraordinary people persist, adapt, and learn from failure. They understand that setbacks are not the opposite of success, but a necessary part of the journey. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to refine their approach, sharpen their skills, and reinforce their determination. Excellence is built on the foundation of endurance, perseverance, and the refusal to surrender to mediocrity. Excellence also demands a mindset of accountability. Ordinary people often make excuses, blame circumstances, or rely on others to carry them. Extraordinary individuals take full responsibility for their outcomes, recognizing that their results are the direct product of their choices and actions. This accountability drives them to work harder, plan better, and consistently exceed expectations. They do not wait for recognition or reward. They create outcomes that make recognition inevitable. Innovation and creativity are natural byproducts of excellence. Ordinary people replicate what already exists, following standard procedures and avoiding experimentation. Extraordinary individuals push boundaries, question assumptions, and explore new possibilities. Their commitment to excellence fuels innovation because they are unwilling to accept mediocrity and constantly seek better, faster, and more effective ways to achieve results. Excellence is also contagious. When someone operates at a high level, it elevates those around them. Teams, organizations, and communities respond to the standards set by extraordinary individuals. They inspire, challenge, and motivate others to raise their own performance. The pursuit of excellence creates an environment where mediocrity is unacceptable and high achievement becomes the norm rather than the exception. Ultimately, excellence is a choice, a discipline, and a lifestyle. Ordinary people wait for circumstances to define their success. Extraordinary people define circumstances through their commitment to superior performance. Every decision, action, and effort is an opportunity to separate themselves from the average and create something remarkable. Excellence is the bridge that connects potential to achievement, intention to impact, and ordinary existence to extraordinary influence. Your growth is your responsibility, and it begins with the understanding that no one else will do the work for you. Life will continue moving at its own pace, and the world will not pause to ensure your success. Opportunities may come and go, circumstances may change, and people may offer advice, but ultimately, your development, your skills, and your future rest squarely on your shoulders. Taking ownership of your growth means refusing to blame others, external conditions, or bad luck for where you are. It means recognizing that progress is the result of deliberate choices, consistent effort, and a commitment to improvement. Growth starts with self-awareness. You must honestly assess your strengths and weaknesses, identifying the areas where improvement is needed. Ordinary individuals often avoid this self-reflection, fearful of confronting their shortcomings. Those who take responsibility for growth face these truths head on. Understanding that clarity about where they are is the first step toward moving where they want to be. Awareness allows you to make informed decisions about what skills to develop, what knowledge to acquire, and what habits to cultivate. Accountability is central to personal growth. Waiting for someone to tell you what to do or for circumstances to force you into action is a form of surrender. Growth requires initiative, the willingness to act without external pressure, and the courage to hold yourself accountable for results. It is easy to get comfortable in mediocrity, but true responsibility means refusing to settle and consistently pushing toward higher levels of performance, understanding that your future depends on what you do today. Investing in growth requires intentional effort. Reading, learning, practicing, and experimenting are all part of the process. Growth is not passive. It demands time, energy, and focus. Those who accept responsibility for their development are proactive, seeking out opportunities to learn and grow even when it is inconvenient. They prioritize long-term gains over short-term comfort, knowing that the investment in themselves is the most reliable path to success. Growth also demands resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and failures are inevitable, but your response defines your trajectory. Taking responsibility for growth means using obstacles as stepping stones rather than excuses. Ordinary people may quit when progress stalls, but those who own their growth persist, adapt, and learn from every difficulty. Each failure becomes a lesson, each setback a chance to refine skills and strategies, reinforcing the principle that your progress is your responsibility no matter what life throws at you. Time management is another key aspect of responsible growth. Your time is a finite resource, and how you choose to spend it determines the speed and quality of your development. Those who take control of their growth carefully allocate time to high-value activities, learning, practicing, networking, and reflecting. They avoid distractions, procrastination, and habits that do not serve their long-term goals. Ownership of growth requires discipline in how you invest the most valuable asset you have, your attention and effort. Mentorship and guidance are valuable, but growth remains your responsibility. A mentor can advise, guide, and support you, but they cannot grow you. Only you can put in the work, take action, and implement lessons learned. Relying solely on others for progress is a path to stagnation. Taking responsibility for growth means being proactive in seeking knowledge, testing it in real situations, and continuously iterating on your strategies and skills until results are achieved. Growth also requires self-motivation. You cannot wait for external validation, praise, or recognition to propel you forward. Those who truly take ownership of their development cultivate an internal drive, fueled by vision, purpose, and ambition. Motivation may fluctuate, but responsibility ensures that action continues even when energy and enthusiasm wane. Growth is sustained not by fleeting inspiration, but by a disciplined commitment to improvement and results. Accountable growth also involves reflection and adaptation. You must regularly assess progress, identify gaps, and adjust strategies accordingly. Growth is not linear, and without reflection, you may repeat mistakes, stagnate, or veer off course. Taking responsibility for your growth means creating systems to track performance, evaluate outcomes, and make intentional changes to continually move forward. The process is dynamic, requiring constant engagement and self-directed adjustments to reach your potential. Finally, understanding that your growth is your responsibility empowers you. It removes excuses and external dependencies, giving you full control over your destiny. No one else can accelerate your learning, force you to take risks, or shape your character. These are choices you make every day. The moment you fully embrace responsibility for your growth, you transform from a passive participant in life to an active architect of your future, knowing that every action, decision, and effort contributes directly to your advancement and the realization of your potential. Results speak louder than opinions because outcomes are the undeniable proof of effort, skill, and impact. Words, promises, and intentions may sound impressive, but without tangible results, they remain empty. People can speculate, criticize, or praise, but only results carry weight. They are measurable, observable, and inescapable. When you produce consistent results, opinions become secondary because your accomplishments provide evidence that cannot be disputed, ignored, or minimized. Many people get caught up in convincing others of their worth through words or image, but opinions are fleeting and subjective. One person's praise can be another person's criticism. Relying on opinions as validation makes you dependent on external perception rather than internal performance. Results, on the other hand, are objective. They are the scoreboard of life, business, and personal achievement. Producing measurable outcomes shifts the focus from what others think to what you accomplish. Results are built through action, not discussion. Talking about your plans, dreams, or intentions will never match the influence of demonstrated success. The person who executes, who takes steps consistently toward their goals, inevitably leaves a mark that words alone cannot achieve. Every action that produces a tangible outcome strengthens credibility, builds trust, and earns respect. Results create authority, while opinions without follow-through are easily forgotten. Accountability is embedded in results. When outcomes matter, there is no room for excuses or justification. Success and failure become the ultimate feedback mechanisms, guiding your next steps and refining your approach. Opinions can be biased, inconsistent, or uninformed, but results are direct and unambiguous. They reflect the truth of your abilities and the effectiveness of your actions, forcing both yourself and others to acknowledge the reality of what has been accomplished. Consistency amplifies the power of results over opinions. One successful action may be noticed, but repeated successes create a pattern that is undeniable. Ordinary people may rely on reputation, charisma, or explanation to maintain credibility, but those who produce consistent results build a legacy. Over time, the cumulative effect of tangible achievements outweighs any transient opinions, establishing a reputation rooted in substance rather than perception. Results also inspire influence. People naturally gravitate toward those who demonstrate capability and impact. When you achieve outcomes that matter, you attract opportunities, collaborators, and supporters who want to be part of your success. Opinions can shape conversation, but results shape reality. They position you as a problem solver, a high performer, and someone whose presence changes outcomes, making you indispensable in ways that discussion alone cannot accomplish. Measuring progress through results eliminates ambiguity. Opinions are subjective and can lead to confusion or distraction, but results provide clarity. They highlight what works, what needs adjustment, and where effort should be focused. By tracking outcomes, you gain actionable insight into performance, strategy, and growth, empowering you to make better decisions and refine your approach. Results offer guidance that opinions can rarely provide. Results demonstrate credibility beyond persuasion. People may be skeptical of claims, ideas, or intentions, but tangible outcomes prove competence. One action backed by visible success can silence doubt far more effectively than any argument or explanation. Results are irrefutable evidence of capability, and over time, they define reputation, influence, and authority. Those who focus on delivering results gain respect and trust that no opinion could create. Impact amplifies the significance of results. Producing meaningful outcomes affects others' lives, organizations, and environments. Results that create value extend beyond personal achievement. They leave a lasting mark on the people and systems touched by your work. Opinions can inspire conversation or debate, but only results create tangible, measurable change that endures and shapes perception automatically. Finally, prioritizing results over opinions fosters independence and focus. When you center your energy on creating outcomes, you stop being distracted by criticism, doubt, or approval seeking. Your progress is determined by measurable performance rather than external judgment. Focusing on results empowers you to act decisively, learn continuously, and build a track record of success that speaks for itself, demonstrating value and influence that no opinion could ever match. Transformation begins with intention and action, because change is never accidental. It is the product of deliberate decisions and purposeful effort. Many people wish for improvement, success, or growth, but wishing alone accomplishes nothing. Intention gives direction. It is the mental commitment to move toward a desired state. Action is the engine that converts that intention into tangible results. Without intention, action lacks focus. Without action, intention remains nothing more than thought. True transformation arises when these two forces intersect, creating momentum that propels you forward. Intention requires clarity. You cannot transform what you cannot define. Ordinary individuals drift through life unclear about what they truly want, easily swayed by circumstance or other people's expectations. Those who embrace transformation begin by visualizing the outcome they desire, setting precise goals and creating a mental roadmap. Intentionality provides the framework for growth and ensures that your efforts are aligned with the results you seek. Without it, action can become scattered, ineffective, or wasted on distractions. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. Even the clearest intention is useless without consistent, focused effort. Transformation demands more than planning. It requires execution. Small, repeated actions compound over time to produce significant change. The person who acts daily, even imperfectly, builds momentum that accumulates into visible progress. Transformation is rarely instant. It is forged through persistent, intentional steps taken toward a clear goal. Transformation also demands courage. Intention without courage can result in paralysis, hesitation, or self-doubt. Taking action often means stepping into discomfort, risk, or uncertainty. Growth cannot occur in the familiar or the comfortable. The willingness to act despite fear is what separates those who remain stagnant from those who evolve into stronger, more capable, and more influential versions of themselves. Action validates intention and proves commitment to change. Consistency amplifies the power of transformation. A single act of intention followed by a single action is a start, but lasting change requires repetition and dedication. Ordinary individuals give up after fleeting effort, while those committed to transformation understand that daily, persistent action compounds into profound results. Each effort builds upon the last, creating a trajectory of growth that becomes unstoppable over time. Reflection is a critical companion to intention and action. Transformation is not merely movement, it is purposeful improvement. Assessing progress, adjusting strategies, and learning from setbacks ensures that actions remain aligned with intentions. Without reflection, effort can be misdirected or diluted. The most effective transformation occurs when every action is guided by a clear intention and informed by ongoing evaluation of outcomes. Intentional action also demands discipline. Motivation alone is unreliable. It fluctuates with mood, energy, or circumstance. Discipline ensures that you follow through on your intentions regardless of temporary feelings. Transformation is built on habits, structured routines, and repeated choices that reinforce your commitment. Each disciplined action reinforces your intention and solidifies the pathway to lasting change. Transformation begins internally before it manifests externally. Your mindset, beliefs, and attitudes must align with your intentions to sustain meaningful action. Ordinary people may attempt external change without addressing internal barriers, leading to frustration and failure. True transformation integrates thought, belief, and behavior, creating alignment that allows action to flow naturally and consistently toward desired outcomes. Action guided by intention also builds confidence. As you see progress, overcome obstacles, and achieve milestones, your belief in your ability to transform strengthens. Each success validates effort and reinforces the connection between deliberate choice and tangible result. Confidence, once earned, fuels further action, creating a cycle where intention and execution continually amplify one another, driving deeper levels of transformation. Finally, transformation requires commitment to the long-term process. Intentions may evolve and actions may need adjustment, but the decision to pursue change must remain unwavering. Those who embrace this mindset understand that transformation is not a single event, but a lifelong practice of deliberate thought, focused action, and continuous improvement. Every choice, effort, and adjustment contributes to a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more capable than the one you were yesterday.